All right, guys, here we're going to talk about the movie Clue. 1985's Clue. You couldn't possibly have missed this one, Lee.
No, you cannot have avoided Clue at any point in our history.
Clue is a movie that I could watch endlessly.
Yeah.
I never get tired of it. I think it's always funny. It's always good. It has a fucking cast on it that you would, like, kill to have.
Clue sucks. No, I'm kidding. No. I love Clue. I've seen Clue maybe more than any other movie we've talked about because it was on TV so much. So I feel like I've seen Clue so many times. I completely agree. It's a classic. It's great in every way.
I watched Clue on 90% of my first dates, like, in my, like, 20s.
That was your go-to movie?
Yeah. If you did not laugh during Clue, I was like, well, there's no future here.
There's no point.
Yeah.
Wow. So it was like a test as well. It was an activity and
well,
a test.
It's a great film because, like,
Yeah.
hey, I know what, like, I can be concentrated on the person and be like, all right, let me look at your face because I know what's gonna happen. I know where you're supposed to laugh.
Just with like a clipboard,
Yeah.
like, very interesting. She's like, what? No, it's fine. There's still time. And you're like, what?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Did not do that with my current girlfriend, and now I can't let her watch it.
Regretted it ever since.
Because what if she doesn't
What
laugh?
if she doesn't pass the test? You have a point.
All these years for nothing. Now this movie's fantastic. If you somehow have not seen this, do not go to the spoilers. Stop right now. Watch this movie. If you have, false over spoilers.
If you need a place to rent content, you better listen. We're Cannibal Video and we eat the competition.
All right, so here we are for the spoilers of Clue. Lee, let me have them spoiler-filled thoughts.
Yeah, it was really weird to watch the beginning of Clue. Because I have seen the middle and or end of Clue, I think, hundreds of times.
Okay.
But the way TV used to work, right? You would just be like, oh, it's Clue, and you watch
yes,
it.
yes.
So I think as like a heat map, as a percentage of how often I saw the beginning of Clue, I was like, how is this? This is so fresh. Because the rest of the movie I know so well, relatively speaking, right? It was like, wow, that joke about him stepping in dog shit and all that. I'm like, I forgot this like, what is happening? And they're all filtering in. There's all these jokes, and I'm like, what is this? Is this the extended cut? This is amazing.
I definitely have seen it many, many times from that beginning. Like I said, I've watched this movie like 100 times, like even like just like opening the store, calling the wait list would throw on the movie, would like to be playing.
It's a crowd pleaser.
Just that dun, 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 like the music is like really nice.
One of us could have stayed in the study, picked up the dagger, run down the hall.
It's like, and just the jokes hit like whether you're looking or not.
I was going to expose you.
I know. So I choose to expose myself. Please, there are ladies present.
Definitely like something that I think is worth multiple viewings. While some movies I think get worse, some get better, and this is one of the ones because you're like, okay, let me actually look and see if I can detect these things they're saying. And there's so much happening. I never noticed anything.
Well, there's the multiple endings, famously,
Sure.
right? So even if you're like whatever, like you're still there's people drawing Pepe Sylvia yarn things of like he is Mr. Boddy, but he's not Mr. Boddy. There is no Mr. Boddy, right? Some weird like craziness. Yeah.
You're Mr. Boddy. Wait a minute!
Did you know Mr. Boddy? Did that guy ring any
I
bells
looked
with you?
that guy up because I'm like, you're somebody. You're like the seventh Baldwin brother, I think. And then no, he's
a singer.
It's a hoax. I suggest we all leave. I'm sorry, sir. You cannot leave this house. No? Who's gonna stop me?
That doesn't matter to me. What do you mean? I don't care. What are you talking about?
What is his name? It's something.
Bobby Boucher.
No, it's Lee something.
Oh, his name is Lee, like Greffenwall or something. Some dumb name. I don't know anything about him. I've never heard him sing. I don't care about him at all.
Lee Ving? I think that's
Vin,
his name.
yeah.
Lee Vin?
Or
Lee
Ving,
Ving? Something like that. He was a singer to Fear, I think was the band.
Fuck you!
I don't know. Didn't ring any bells to me, and just it was like, oh, interesting, okay. Because he always this look to me where I was like, he must be some classic mobster.
Right. He has He wasn't great in the movie, which I also remembered. Like memories came rushing back when he's like in the greenhouse about to smash the thing. I'm like, this part I remember seeing.
You can't get out that way. Why not? It's only glass.
So I'm like, this is so strange. Yeah.
I always thought like I would just smash this place and get the fuck out of there.
Smash
Like,
the dog.
It seems like you could. There's some way. I understand like it is barred, it is this, it is that. But Tim Curry's not an overly large man. The key to the front door is just in his pocket. I'm like, if I wanted out, I would be out. Especially if I'm a tough mobster.
Yeah, somebody got the key.
Yeah.
It happens.
It definitely has a killer cast though in this movie. Like these are people who are like, I have seen these in everything from like before and after this. They're like crazy people. The only person who like I didn't necessarily have a like, oh, I know you is Miss Scarlet.
True or false?
True. Who are you? Perry Mason.
And come to learn, Miss Scarlet was replaced last minute. That was going to be Carrie Fisher.
Half-witted, scruffy-looking nerve herder.
Oh, there you go.
She was in rehab apparently at the time and couldn't do the movie.
Oh, interesting. Okay. She's good though. I like her.
Oh no, Miss Scarlet is great.
Yeah.
And she was in like the Mission Impossible show. She's in things that you've seen recently.
Yeah. Everyone has a bunch of credits. It's a lot of old shit, obviously, because these are not young actors at the time and stuff. But yeah, there's a lot of people. The one who plays, I want to call her Miss Swan, but it's Miss White.
Miss White.
Right? I thought that was an Asian lady in my memory.
Are you hiding? I'm coming.
And I think it maybe almost is, and that's cringy.
When you said Miss Swan, are you thinking of Miss Swan from Mad TV?
I'm making a joke, yes.
Okay.
I like to bite off both ends, and I put in, I use like a straw. You try.
Thanks, I'll try that.
In my head, I'm like, who's that? Miss Swan. That's what's happening there. So she became Asian, in my mind. I have no idea why, but she is not. So there you go.
Don't you think you might spare us this humiliation?
I'm sorry.
I did see that the famous line she has, the flames inside my face, is an ad lib, and I was like, oh my god, that's such a weird line to be like something that you made up.
I hated her so much. Flames.
Well, she's a comedian, right? So I imagine. I mean, like a lot of them are. But there's probably a lot of play there to do fun little things. But yeah, that's a line that we've quoted in like the friend group.
Yeah.
Someone's like angry, and they're like,
Flames on the side of my face. Heaving breaths.
flames! Like it's a thing. Not so much anymore, but back in the heyday, that was a thing. So a lot of stuff. I also had to stop her from screaming.
I had to stop her from screaming.
That whole thing, that's been used. Classic lines, very quotable. There's a lot going on here.
Definitely. Anytime you slap somebody, there's going to be a quote.
Exactly.
Who's your favorite person in the Clue franchise?
It's got to be Tim Curry. Come on.
I say franchise, it's not a franchise.
I know what you meant.
Yeah, Tim Curry
This
definitely
long franchise.
definitely draws the attention. He has all the best lines. He pulls things up.
I had to stop her screaming. Then more screaming. Yvette, the billiard room.
I like Colonel Mustard. Always funny. His shocked paused face as chandeliers crush upon him. I can't take another fright.
Yeah.
+1 is.
I love
Christopher Lloyd's like a sleeper in this too.
Why is the car stopped?
It's frightened.
Yeah.
There's a lot of funny little subtle things. I mentioned the dog shit joke, but I hate being an old man. I feel like red letter media comparisons are incoming, but I think in a comedy today, you would have seen him stepping in the dog shit.
He would have slid with it.
Oh yeah, and fallen and I'm covered in dog shit. But just this of I feel like if this was in theaters today, you would hear people why are they sniffing? What's going on? Like they wouldn't understand this joke. Yeah, because they're on their phones. Or their
I don't
brains
think they
don't work
overplayed
anymore.
that joke.
Yeah,
honestly, for something that is underplayed,
subtle.
it's almost too much.
Exactly. Yeah, it's crazy. I'm like, wow. And there's a lot of stuff like that where the one guy admits to being gay, and then one of them gets up and stands somewhere else. Like
that's also the time period. This is the 50s.
Yes, of course. Oh yeah.
Thank you.
Well,
but there's no cutaway reaction or reference, or there's no dialogue about like a lot of these things. Someone just says something, and then someone makes a face next to them.
un-American.
Sorry.
It's very it's very underplayed compared to a comedy that just loads jokes into a machine gun and shoots you in the face. Yeah.
I love the mansion itself. I think that it's super cool looking. I just anytime you have a movie like that and you think the setting is what makes this thing, it's so cool. They really don't shoot in an actual mansion that much. It is a lot of sets, which if you would have asked me as a kid, I'd been like, no, it's a giant mansion. This is when movies were movies, and they just went and found this thing. It's a real place.
They built the mansion for the movie.
Yeah, the exteriors and the ballroom are an actual mansion that did burn down, and that's like a little sad because it would have been cool to like win the lottery and
Do
buy
tours.
that.
Flames.
Yeah, because like there's those scenes where they're running between all the rooms, right? That's in the real mansion.
No,
No,
everything.
that's a set?
It's at least what they have told me. Everything that is written or everything
That's
that
what
is
they
not
tell
in the
me.
ballroom, which is just like the two characters in that ballroom while they're searching.
Nobody here.
And the actual exterior is not the mansion itself.
Interesting. I was gonna say before too. That's where I think Tim Curry shines the most when he's like running around.
Yeah.
And you weren't here. And you did this. And
Yes,
the whole thing.
100%.
And that interaction, like, cause I know exactly every beat of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
But when the guy's like, "Can you please stop?" and it's like, "No," and knocks him
Yes.
down, does it again, and runs down. I was like, "Oh, this is. They don't make him like this anymore, folks."
Murderer crept up behind him. I'm doing it! Will you stop that? No.
This is good.
He is assaulting that man
Yes,
too, like
literally.
constantly throwing him down, hitting him, tossing him,
Yes.
doing all that jazz.
We came back from the study with Yvette. Mr. Boddy was on the floor, pretending to be dead. But one of us knows he's alive. So, I explained that I was Mr. Boddy's butler.
Fantastic.
And they're both playing it off like a choreographed ballet. It's perfectly executed. It's great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Certain things do, so like the reset happens when he pulls the breaker during this like thing. That's like when the 3 different endings can post. The only thing that's a little like throws off some of those endings for me is like Tim Curry like gets lost, turns on the shower and soaks himself, and I'm like, if this was his house, I don't think he would have got lost in the bathroom.
Another door.
So that ending, I throw that one away. That's not what happened.
Okay, right. I should have seen this coming. Where you're like, I'm going to solve the movie.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's not. It's not meant to be. Like, there's no true ending. This is just like
No,
a funny
exactly.
movie. Yeah. Because I think only in one of them does he admit to not being the butler, which is weird, right? So
Well,
like,
he's a
yeah.
different person in each one of them.
Yeah, where he's an agent,
He's the
or he's-
butler in
yeah.
the first one. He's an
Yeah.
FBI agent, and then he's Mr. Boddy himself.
Right.
So like, yes, he has the biggest curve.
They
throughout the
all
whole
did
thing.
it. Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Except
that.
who shot the butler? That was me.
I did. In the hall. With the revolver.
In this place with this, yes, exactly from Clue.
Yeah.
I think Clue might be the best video game movie ever made.
It was the first game movie, I
Yeah.
believe.
I know it's not literally a video game, but
I had
think,
it on Sega.
Well, no, there is a video game.
Yeah.
I literally went. I'm like, oh my god, if the video game released even close to when this movie released, I'm gonna crack this thing wide open. This is the best video game movie. It is, but it's like 7 years away. It's like 1992, I think. It's a long time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which makes sense. But yeah, no. In terms of translating from the game to a movie, and like, what would that movie even be?
It's perfect.
Like yeah, literally.
In your hands, you each have a lethal weapon.
Well, and they even set up the house
Yeah.
is exactly how the board
Oh,
game
is
goes
it?
in their order. The
Oh,
only thing
shit.
that I think is different is I don't think there's a lobby in the board game. I think it's just the house, like all the rooms are just interconnected. So
Okay.
like they added that, but other than that, the order of the rooms is all the same.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yep. The
But
weapons are all
yeah.
the same. Even like the mention of poison that could have killed Boddy in the first place. In like the British version, there is poison in the game.
Yeah.
The gun change is not the same gun, but other than
Well,
that, everything is the same.
And like them getting the weapons and everything happening and like the conceit of all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then like they lampshade it there where it says, I killed a butler in the thing with the thing.
Yes.
But like that, to build up to that and then to have him deliver that as like, that's what you say in the game when you make the accusations.
Yeah.
This is the perfect thing. But they don't overdo it where everyone's like, did you do this in there with this? No, I did that in there with this. Like there's no,
Yeah.
they don't hammer you. It's just like, what if this was real? Or like, these are the true events that the board game has made. It's
Yeah.
like designed after, right? It has that kind of vibe, which I really like.
I definitely enjoy it. It's way better than. Did you ever see Murder by Death?
Who is the one who done it in the number one who done it? Neil Simon's new comedy, Murder by Death.
No, it sounds like it sucks.
Sucks.
What is it?
It's like a similar like one like they're in his house. They're all invited. He invites all these detectives and then starts killing them.
What board game is that based on?
I don't think it's based off of any game, but it has Columbo in it.
Relax. Relax.
Oh, now I'm back in.
I don't even know if they came out in the same in my head, they're very similar time-framed movies, and this is the vastly superior one.
Yeah, Murder by Death sounds like it's like an older thing from the 70s or 80s, or it's a new thing that is just absolutely the worst thing ever, like some high school death movie or something. Yeah.
Oh, you must be Mr. Green.
Yeah.
Sit! No, not you, sir.
All right, so we don't have them all in their like outfits that are the same colors as their pieces.
Okay.
So you could think that like, oh, they're not really paying homage to this thing. Like, and some of them are actually wearing the exact opposite color of their characters. But when they first arrive in their cars, all their cars are matched to the color pieces, and that's pretty sweet. I like that a lot. The only thing I don't like about the cars is the fact that when we have Scarlet break down and she gets driven there, she leaves her lights on. And I'm like, come on, lady, you don't leave your lights on. What do you want to come back to a dead battery?
Well, do you want them to have to set up lights, or do you want the scene to be lit diegetically?
I want them to be realistic. Also, for speaking of realism in general, this house seems to be in the middle of fucking nowhere. What are the odds that like a cop is just patrolling that back road looking for like, oh, there's a motorist whose car is off the road here. Let me know. Also, very much committing to his part in this thing, like because as it is scripted, everyone we encounter is someone who is
connected,
directly related to this in one way or another. So like everyone from your singing telegram. Who is the bass player from the Go-Go's? I think.
I was gonna say no. Christopher Lloyd was stripping her. She was a student.
But like, so she had to show up, which is like, okay, so she drove herself there. She showed up. I'm ding dong. I'm your singing telegram. Poof, and she dies.
I am your singing telegram.
Like that's something that me and my friends would quote a lot too. It's funny.
I'm your singing telegram.
But like the motorist had to like pitch his car off the road onto a rock just for the sake of being able to walk there in the rain and say, hey, my car broke down off the street, in case they were to go check, I guess.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to disturb the whole household, but my car broke down out here and...
I'm like, that's a lot of commitment to his role, as whatever his role may have been, because it wasn't coincidence. He was told to be there and do that.
He was invited, and then it rained, and his car got screwed up.
But
I'm just making up stuff
something.
to make the Inquisition stop, to just be like,
yeah,
it's fine.
It's a fun thing where like it only hurts you if you look it out from the outs, like pull it back more. Even the cop showing up is like, because that was the one that I used to pay for this and that and whatever. Like, who, if I were to film this movie today, would be
Carl Winslow.
Yeah.
Simply control my temper.
Yay, that's gonna be tough.
What are you saying? I can't do it? You say I have self-control?
I'd put him in everything. And in terms of the cop, it has to be him.
I was gonna say, not film him today. Film him like 10 or 20 years ago.
That was an older cop.
Yeah.
Carl's what, 70 now?
Yeah. Carl Winslow at 50 is perfect for this role.
In general, he's perfect for almost anything.
I mean, he's perfect.
Hey, Roy, how you feeling?
Pretty fucking unappreciated, Al.
Hey, look, I love you.
I'd even take 40-year-old Carl.
Well, I mean, I'm saying, as you go away from 50, it gets worse, but still good.
Reginald Val Johnson.
Until you get to like 7. And it's like, why is that a guy a cop? He's not a cop.
Oh, indeed, no, sir. I'm merely a humble butler.
What exactly do you do?
I buttle, sir.
Which means what?
I love during the part where they're all saying like why they're there, what they're being blackmailed for, and Miss Scarlet's like, I run, essentially a brothel. And it's like, you'd call this number and we'd set you up with it. And Christopher Lloyd's like, and what's that number?
The company of a young lady for a short while.
Oh, yeah? What's the phone number?
He comes at it like he's about to say, this is unbelievable. I can't believe that. What's the number? That sort of thing. Yeah.
He's great in this.
That's an old joke too, where someone's like, I played the worst gig. They stiffed me, they didn't pay me, they said drinks were free, I got a big tab at the end, the like patrons were horrible, no one laughed at me, it was the worst gig ever. That sounds awful. Who books that? I could do this weird little thing, because they're so desperate for like a gig. It's an old like roast joke or something, yeah.
Except this is a horny doctor joke.
Well, because he's like, I'm sorry, that sounds outrageous, and like he wants to see the pictures too. That's ridiculous. Let me see those. Like he's going for them. It's great.
Yeah, and he works for the World Health Organization.
There's so much about that.
But it's the United Nations Organization's World Health Organization, the UNO-WHO.
Another politician, Jesus.
No, I work for a branch of WHO, the World Health Organization.
Or the you-know-who.
Oh! The light bulb going off.
Yeah.
Is that like an Easter egg? Is that a thing? Was that a?
No, I don't know.
Guess Who?
Just funny.
They should make a Guess Who movie. No, they should not. They should not. They should not. They should not. Yeah, I definitely take that communism is a red herring thing to heart. I think it's a funny jab at the whole thing.
You're a communist!
And I, as a result, completely forgot about everyone's like day jobs and connections and occupations and all that dumb stuff where they're just like, oh, well, I'm also in Washington and all. I'm like, no. It's
My wife was a socialist.
Oh, she has socialist ties.
I had friends who were socialists.
My God. Yes. Enough to be enslaved over.
Which today you'd be like based, and now it's like, no,
yeah.
It's like...
Well, it's a big difference to what, like 70 years
Oh, God,
makes.
yes. 70 years?
Well, it take place in the 50s.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize there was a year where this was set out, honestly.
I think it's 1954.
Jesus.
I think.
Okay.
I don't know why I think that.
No cell phones.
But I do think that.
Is that why?
It might say it when the movie opens.
Does it say it? Let's check.
I have if you were to you bet your life on it, I'm like, bet Lee's life. I'm pretty sure.
I'll bet someone's life. No, I didn't catch that. That's fine. It just feels like it's set when, I guess it doesn't feel like it's set in the 80s per se. It just feels like it's not set in any time. It's just a.
If you were just given a random invitation to a party, no other caveats, would you go?
Am I being blackmailed?
Well, that's what I'm saying. We will add in the caveats, but in general, I don't like going to parties that are hosted by people I know, let alone strangers.
I was just trying to say that we're a bunch of shut-ins, so I would be very hesitant in asking a lot of questions, even if it was one of my best friends. So yes.
But the blackmail might get me.
Yeah,
we'll see. I don't know what I would be blackmailed.
Is that in the letter, right? He's like, and all will be revealed or something. Yeah. So you have to. You basically feel like you have to go. You're like, well.
Did your letter say the same thing?
No.
I see.
What if they ratchet up the blackmail?
You don't know. Most of them came from the D.C. area, but I wonder how long was this trip for some of those people? Yeah. How far would you go? What's the farthest you would go while being blackmailed? If I was like, all right, meet me in Tennessee on the 3rd, you'd be like, Tennessee on the 3rd? I'm being blackmailed. I gotta go to Tennessee now?
If it's the blackmailer, I would feel like they're in complete control of my destiny and I have to go.
So
this is like a part of the blackmail. What if I don't go? And then they're like, we're gonna release your secrets, or they're gonna be like, oh, you owe me double now.
Maybe you die.
And if I go, maybe I get to kill him.
So who did I kill? My butler. Oh, shucks.
Yeah. Oh.
Bonus. Maybe someone hands me a lead pipe. Something happens. Who knows?
Yeah.
This is war, Peacock. Casualties are inevitable. You cannot make an omelet without breaking eggs. Every cook will tell you that.
Christopher Lloyd's character does fall into that rapey category. I feel like during most of it, all of a sudden his hands seem to be wandering on characters. Whether
yes.
Oh no. Nobody can get into that position.
Sure they can. Let me show you.
Get off me.
Intentional or not, I feel like his hands on the butt of that dead cook for a while.
Who had access to the candlestick?
All of us.
It was given to you.
Yeah, but I dropped it on the table. Anyone could have picked it up. You, him.
Look, we still have...
Yeah. Obviously he feels up Miss Scarlet as they're entering the house.
What a godforsaken place.
But you got a good amount of pervy, rapey kind of characters, like Colonel Mustard. He's in there because he was at the adulteress's house and was with the maid, presumably.
You and Yvette in flagrante delicto, remember? Mr. Boddy threatened to send those pictures to my dear old mother. The shock would have killed her.
And I'm like, okay, so that's something. And then you have Miss Scarlet go, search me. He's like, all right, man.
Yeah.
What room's this?
Search me.
Okay.
Get your mitts off me.
He immediately starts searching her. I'm like, okay,
no,
it was a different time.
Come on. Yes. It's weird, too, because no one says search me anymore.
For a reason.
For a reason.
This movie.
Exactly. No need to be getting felt up.
It's behind one of those curtains.
You look. I'll search the kitchen.
The gay guy's name?
I'm a plant.
I thought they called your people fruits.
I remember that joke and being way too young, but I understand this joke. This is cool.
Let us in! Let us in! Let us out! Let us out!
When Colonel Mustard's like, I've been shot.
I've been shot! I've been shot!
Come out! The door is open!
When he gets winged a little, his delivery on that's amazing.
Yeah, he's pretty good in general. I know him
really
best,
solid.
Aside from this, he was in the Sabrina the Teenage Witch show. He played the principal character.
Oh.
And Zelda? Where am I?
You're with me, dear.
And he's like,
wow,
that same kind of dopey whatever.
Yeah.
And he's great at that.
No, and the guy we can't remember his name, the FBI agent, not, I'm gonna go home and sleep with my wife.
Yes.
Which I said that too. I say I'm going home to fuck my wife.
I'm gonna go home and sleep with my wife.
I don't know.
A little creative liberty on that.
I know you have to put you have to update it
put a little English on
for like the late '90s audience that I was doing. That guy, is he the guy from like Best in Show and all those things? Yeah.
I didn't do it! Somebody help me, please. Somebody help me, please!
Yeah, he's in a lot of things, but he's like one of those guys where I feel like his face like falls into the background, right?
Yes.
You don't notice him, and you're like, oh, that's that guy. Oh, yeah, okay.
And he like leaned into a certain performance later in his career too that he repeated a lot. So I feel like this, between the glasses and his doing a different character for once, I was like, oh, I didn't realize it was you. It was nice.
I told you I didn't do it.
But what if the authorities find out what happened?
No, he's fun. And in this, very slapstick, awesome, does his thing.
I didn't do it. Something.
I said I didn't do it.
I said.
And murder! What do you mean? Murder.
Why murder? I just said it so you'd let us out.
Let's open the door.
Yeah, the whole business there, like them locking people repeatedly into houses, and that not arising any suspicion. Even the cop himself realizes he was locked in that room. He like touches the knob, sees he's locked, he goes, oh, I'll just make a phone call.
Just in case of what?
Like,
yeah.
I don't know about you, but if you lock me in a room, I immediately want out of that room. I don't know what's going on. I'm in a strange house to begin with. I already think rich people are crazy and might want to eat me. I don't know what's happening.
The phone could be like your ticket out. Isn't he contacting the people that are going to come later or something?
I think he was going to call the precinct again.
Yeah, he's going to
because I imagine his radio just doesn't work in the middle of nowhere where their house is, which makes me even more suspicious as to why he was there in the first place.
So I'd be like, well, I'm trapped in here with a phone. Let me take care of that first. And then he gets out, not by using brute strength because he's an older man, but by using his cleverness.
The J. Edgar Hoover on the phone thing.
Yeah. J. Edgar Hoover?
That's right. The head of the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
Like, while a funny joke, also hurts a lot of the, like, wait, what? Yeah. So think about in most of those scenarios, even, like, so either...
Like, why would he be calling the house? Right?
Why would he say who it was?
Yeah.
Why would any of that stuff happen? That's definitely a flaw, but it does get that beautiful joke. It's on everyone else's phone, why not on mine?
Yeah, it's a joke. It's in there as a joke, yeah.
I like that. But again, it questions because, like, okay, if Tim Curry is an agent, why would he call? If the other guy's an agent, why would he call? If neither of them are an agent, like, well,
no, he would never personally call anyway. But there'd be some, it's a different time. The phone was more important, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Ugly house on top. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, because in the event where. What the hell's it? Mrs. Peacock is the bad guy.
Yeah.
Why did he call the house at all?
Right. It gives everything away even to have someone call. Obviously, the FBI would not call.
Yeah, and maybe maybe it's a prank call. Who's to say? Who's this? Dad, go. Who are you? Like he was a very prominent,
even
person
better.
at the moment. Could be anything. But it would have been nice to have
communism was just a red herring.
Some payoff. Oh, that was actually my cousin.
One of my favorite parts is that when they're counting, 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1. No, it's 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2. And they're going back and forth, and he gets all frustrated with it. I was like, that's dumb. I like that.
Even if you were right, that would be 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1, not 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 1.
Okay, fine. 1 plus 2 plus 1. Shut up!
Yep, and gets a number 2 round shot off of killing chandeliers. 1 for 1 on 2 chandeliers. I do like that when the cop's like, you all look very nervous. Oh, chandelier almost fell. We almost all died.
Yeah.
You all seem to be very anxious about something.
It's the chandelier. It fell down, almost killed us. Would you like to come this way, please, sir?
Yeah, he does very quickly, try to assess the situation. Like, what the hell is wrong with all you people? Mm-hmm. Immediately.
The events of murder, a lot of these things are happening very quickly and very cleanly, too. Where it's like, all right, let me just slip this noose over your head and I choke you, Yvette. Well,
yeah.
Wait, Yvette? Yvette? Why does that sound wrong all of a sudden? I'm going Yvette.
Sounds okay to me.
Yeah, fine.
Strangled Yvette.
You can just say the maid, too, if you want.
The maid. But, all that jazz, I
love that she doesn't have the accent, too.
Yeah.
When she comes in there, I'm like,
They know every inch of my body, and they're not the only ones.
What a tangled web we weave.
Well, it just shows she was a plant the whole time.
Yeah.
There's also clearly a man's voice she's talking to in that scenario, so that doesn't make a lot of...
Well, they need dialogue to happen there, but they're trying to hide who's saying it, right? So they have to... But a human is saying it, so eventually you have to... Whatever,
it sounded very much like a man human is saying it, though. It didn't sound like a muffled... it might have been better to have an inaudible sound, like almost like...
Yeah, they try their best. It's like a super weird like throat breath only voice. There's like no tone to it or whatever.
Did anyone recognize you?
Which makes it difficult to hear. It's like very weird. Yeah.
Male tone.
You're supposed to like, I don't know who that is. Like, that's supposed to be the thing.
Yeah.
So, in like a movie today, they would use like a voice changer or do some other crap like that.
Something. I don't know what would be needed to make that better, but like again,
of the
things that are like bad in this movie, they're so insignificant and small and don't matter at all.
There and
when you're watching
someone
it,
has to talk.
There's just so much happening. You're not thinking about any other thing.
No, and the deaths happen quickly, but I like how quickly, like once the third person is dead or something, they like when they go and walk in the room and they see the dead body and they're like, and they walk to the other room and they go, and they just start doing the same thing where they're like, all right, grab the corpses, whatever. It's all old now to them.
When Colonel Mustard goes, 2 dead bodies, nothing's wrong, we're okay. You're like,
Don't
whatever
worry.
his exact wording is.
It's fine. 2 corpses.
Just checking.
Everything all right?
Yep, 2 corpses, everything's fine.
Everything's as it should.
Yeah. That's wonderful. Just checking, because they've had such a weird night where...
Or when they leave the dead one outside, they like look at her and they're like, fuck it. And they, for a while, she's just outside, just dead person on the street.
Yeah, it's a part of that montage where like the power's gone out and everyone's dead, and they go like, ugh.
This is getting serious.
Oh no, it's gotten so much worse. Because once you break the seal on the murder mystery weekend, it becomes like, what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
Fine.
I almost would have liked it to be, what is that movie, like 10 Little Indians or whatever, where people keep getting picked off in a humorous way. Like, we don't lose...
There's 2 people left.
Yeah, we don't lose any of our real main characters in this movie.
True.
And not to say that I want to, but I would have liked more movie. So if we could, whatever we could do to keep getting more movie out of this movie.
Yeah, it's like a tight 90. You expect it to be like a 2-hour long movie because of how old it is and how long it feels in your head. Yeah, that's probably a criticism, because we usually would say that, oh, you add these extra characters that aren't even in the game just so you could kill them. I don't know if they're in the game. I assume they're not in the game. But
I don't think so.
I think in the game, all of the named characters are rotating and who's dying and what's happening, right? That's
you randomly put a weapon,
Yeah.
a card, a person card, and a location card in the thing, and then have to figure out who it is.
Right. So you play the other characters and one of them is dead, right? And it's always a thing, I believe, or... It's been 30 years. I don't remember.
I don't even know. You are not a character. When you play, you're just a color. You're just like a sorry piece.
Okay.
Like you aren't. I don't think Mrs.
You don't
whatever.
correspond to the colored piece.
Because all of them are still available every time to be the one that was killed.
Yeah, I thought one dies and you play all the rest of them, but whatever. That's fine. There's still no maid, cook, and singing telegram lady.
Yeah, I haven't played this game in quite a while. And I remember like the last time I played would have been like on Sega. Like I said, I had it on Sega. It's not a fun game when you're not playing with people.
I rented it once and I was just like, wait, this is just a game. This is a board game.
Yeah.
I expected.
Same thing with like Monopoly digitally.
Around.
It's like it's not fun without the interaction of people and shit talking and making deals and cheating and whatever you do.
I play Monopoly very, very perfectly and very
we're always
logically.
staring at the banker because I always slide a couple. How do you get that many 500s, you liar?
Yeah, if anyone ever cheated, I would just be like, I'm done. I'm not playing with you. You're a cheater.
Hey, he's getting out-cheat the cheater.
I was no fun as a child and to this day.
I hated people playing with like house rules. Like, oh, roll double sixes, I get $500. I'm like, what do you mean? Oh, all the taxes go in the middle. That's part of the pot. What?
It just goes to show how bad the game is that you have to make up your own rules.
I think so. That man's drunk. Dead drunk. Dead right.
You have no idea.
This man's drunk. Dead drunk.
Dead right.
That's another scene where they're very all over each other, where Christopher Lloyd's...
Any chance he gets.
Black car.
A limousine. Oh,
He's playing his role of like pretend we're making out like way too much.
Oh yeah.
He grabs her leg and like puts it over his shoulder, seemingly.
Oh, because
right?
he's trying to get what he gets.
He's like, woo, let's do it.
I think that's like think about how good he had it versus the person making out with a dead person, rubbing his hands through their head. The other person's like faking it by moving her hands around the outside. There's just a dead person with a knife in her back. Like that is some morbid shit. But it's played to such a jaunty tune that it's fine.
I was just gonna say that it's really that song that plays. Is that shabum life could be a dream if I'm a something? It's like right.
I think so.
I was gonna say there's several songs and I forget which one is playing then, but yes, it's perfect. It makes it so like it's like there's nothing wrong with this. This is just people being natural.
Yeah.
This is
It's a free country.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was that free.
It's a free country, don't you know that?
I didn't know it was that free.
I was in the hall. I know, because I was there.
I know, because I was there.
I was in the hall. I know because I was there.
I love stuff like that.
That kind of simple shit.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's all delivery because the line is not great.
I'm going to pick one of these things at random. This one. I could have picked that one, but I didn't. That's how you know it's random. And then you peel off the thing and you're like, what? No, that's horrible. Yes.
But like so good.
Yeah, it's great.
Like, and yeah, again, like if it was a lesser actor, if it was not like Tim Curry like delivering these lines, you'd be like, that's not funny.
If it was Mr. Bean.
I do think he is a funny man.
He doesn't talk.
I think he is. Well, he talks in a lot of things.
Joking,
but I think the amount of like tomfoolery and pratfalling and stuff, he could have definitely sold those things. But just Tim Curry, like that's my boy. Like
no, I don't think the movie would have achieved the place. Like it wouldn't have been on Channel 11 for me to watch it that many times had it been Rowan Atkinson. I don't think.
I think not till later,
power, but
like maybe in the '90s it could have gotten a resurgence, like when like '96 or whenever Mr. Bean came out. Like the show was always around, but that movie I think really like popped him off here, and then like Johnny English and stuff. It would have had a different market though. It wouldn't have been the same fan base.
It would have dramatically changed history in ways. Not that Tim Curry is such a big star power guy, but still, choosing the cast they chose affected how it ended. It all ended up.
Well, and speaking of the ending, so it ends with those three different endings.
Yes.
Theatrically, you could find out it was either A, B, or C
they
ending.
Picked one,
so
right? Yeah.
you could go to a movie and see the different endings here. Now, like this was, I think was it?
It was before Twitter.
It was Landis, I think.
We know
was like,
that.
hey boy, you should release those as different things and try to get people to see the movie 3 times. You'll triple your box office. People did not like that. This was not a hit in theaters.
It sucks.
This is like a cult hit. People liked it after the fact. I do know people that saw this theatrically and did travel to different theaters to see the other endings. And I was like,
so that was like a known thing?
Yeah, it was a known thing.
I guess they have to make it a known.
It would say clue A or clue B. Like you knew that the 3 different endings were playing.
Yeah, so like I'd heard that loosely going into this, so I kind of had that in mind, as we got to the end, because I was like, wait, aren't those long? Like, how could you cut the movie into so many whatevers? Blah 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 blah. So I feel like they're each about like 4 to 5 minutes, 4-ish minutes long. Yeah. So like you're cutting out over 5 minutes of the movie. It's like 123 minutes with only one ending. So it's really weird to me to go that low just to cut them all out. But so did they start with this montage of 3 endings and then cut it up?
I think from the
this
jump
was created?
this was But like as we would have seen it, TV was always all 3 endings.
Yes.
The VHS, the DVD was always 3 endings. So like that's I've never seen it the other way.
But they patched them together after the fact. They were always intended to end separately. Wow, that's daring. I guess that's just like a cynical money grab that the world rejected, though, right?
Yeah, it was not popular.
Yeah.
But I think it's like if you would have actually seen it. So like if this movie comes out and you're like, oh man, that movie was great. There are other endings. Like I think I would have paid and seen it again because I've seen it how many times anyway. Like why not?
So like the part of me that likes this. It's like a romanticized idea of it where they don't tell you and it's random and then you say, oh, it was crazy how it was Mrs. Peacock, and you go, what the fuck are you didn't?
That would be ludicrous.
That sounds so cool to me, but it obviously because it wasn't that, because it couldn't be that. I'm like, oh, so it's worse than that, and it's this like I gotta go see it again, right? It's this I don't know.
If it was a blind bag, I've seen it 3 times, the same ending. God damn it!
It's random per screening, not even per theater. Yeah, exactly. That would be wild. That would be very crazy.
Funny.
Yes.
They all did it.
But you could just imagine, I spoke to my cousin in Pittsburgh, and he must have had a stroke at the end of Clue, because he didn't know anything that happened at the ending.
He said Miss Peacock did it. What? A fucking
This guy's
loon.
crazy. Yeah, that would be amazing. That's like a huge troll maneuver that I think would have lived in like infamy forever.
Yeah. If you could have made this, like, if this would have came out more like recently, and they did it as like one of those YouTube, and you could choose your endings as you go.
Choose your own adventure,
or like that Netflix one.
Bandersnatch.
Yeah, if they did it like that, where there's 100, like, oh no, it goes this way. That would actually be fucking ridiculous.
Yes.
Oh man. Like, picture that. We're like, oh no, like all your different choices, and there's 36 different endings, and blah, blah, blah.
I never saw Bandersnatch, because I was like, I'm going to have to be in the right headspace for this. But yeah, you could be like, check the kitchen, check the weapon cabinet, and you can pick one or the other, and then whatever you do branches the plot more and more. It'd be amazing. Yes.
Yeah, I did watch Bandersnatch. It was okay.
We just have to go along for the ride. Mirrors let you move through time.
I like it's a Black Mirror thing, right?
Yeah.
I like Black Mirror.
I do too. Just the choices. I feel like we did it a couple times, and it was very similar. I was like, eh.
That's how they get you, is everything converges later. Video games do that too, where it's like, oh, you can be good or evil, and a million things happen, and it's like 2 things happen. There's a bunch of stuff in the middle. And then they shunt you off into one or the other ending. Yeah.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
If you want to support the show, head over to cannibalvideo.com, pick up some merch.
And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's something.
Whatever.
Fuck these motherfuckers.
Mrs. Peacock was a man?
Cannibal Video has everything you need. A wide array of VHS and DVDs. We ate the competition, now it's only us. Our expert staff opinion